Happy Sunday, everyone. I am back at my favorite place to get ready to go out on the trail. Well, it's not going to be an exciting day. I have a lot of errands to do. I still don't have my new boots, more on that later. But I wanted to get out and do something, so I'm going to do a local suburban hike that I've kind of been wanting to do for quite a while. So we're going out to the Armintrout Preserve, which is part of the Wissahickon Creek watershed, and we're going to do a 2+ mile hike there. So let's get on the very short drive down, and I'll talk to you when I get there. Welcome to the Armintrout Preserve, which is part of the Wissahickon watershed and the trails that are associated with that. The Wissahickon watershed is a nonprofit organization that is preserving land along the Wissahickon Creek, which runs from northern Montgomery County up near Green Lane all the way down to Philadelphia. And you may have seen me last year, or maybe the year before, do a section of the Green Ribbon Trail, and that follows the Wissahickon all the way from North Wales, Pennsylvania, down into Philadelphia. We are not doing anywhere near the Wissahickon Creek proper today. I believe we are going to be seeing a tributary to that. But this property was acquired by the watershed in 1997 from a woman, Mrs. Armintrout, who was selling all of this land, and between the watershed organization and the local community, they managed to purchase this and preserve it as outdoor land. Additionally, as we hike, you're going to see I'm going to cross over into the Camp Hill Preserve, which is right next door. There is some residential construction in between the two, but they are connected, and there is a right-of-way to walk between the two. So within Armintrout, the trail is about a mile, and I believe it's like 3/4 of a mile at Camp Hill, and when between connecting the two, that's going to give us about 2.5 miles today. So let me get my boots on and let's get on the trail. on all trails complaining about the road noise that you can hear, because this section of the trail runs right along a major connecting road in the area. But to me, that's just a reminder of how close the suburban and the natural areas really are intertwined in this area. And I would recommend in your area that you also look around to see what those connections are. I've driven this road going to my job for the last 13 years. And I never knew this was here until I started hiking. You could see the signs for the preserve along the road, but there was no way of telling that there were actually trails back here. I do kind of envy the people who live in the neighborhoods around here. There's quite a few people out today walking their dogs, taking their jog here. And to have a resource like that right in your backyard is an incredible blessing. So a little road noise is a small price to pay for making sure that spaces like this still exist, even in an area that is this developed and continues to be extremely overdeveloped. So, all right, I'm at a junction and I need to figure out which way to go. This is a big blowdown, but I can see the trail right on the other side of this. So I'm not in the wrong place. I just am not sure how to get around this. Oh, there's a guy with a metal detector coming this way. Let's see what he does. All right, he went this way around, so that's how I'm gonna go. You can see there's horseshoe prints and such in the mud here, so. There are a lot of trees in this area that are unfortunately reaching the end of their lifespan, and So every time a big storm comes through, we get this where all these trees come down. Morris Road here, the main road, the main connecting road that I was talking about earlier, does not have any, well, I can think of 2 connecting roads feeding into it. So anytime any of these trees blow over onto the road, this road is just stopped completely. And that's been happening more and more in recent years. The deer enclosure was made possible because of some of those blowdowns. In 2012, with Hurricane Sandy and more storms that came through in 2013, it opened the canopy up enough that they were able to establish that deer enclosure to see what grows natively and what does well in this area. So there are pluses and minuses to these kinds of downfalls, but it is kind of sad to see such big old trees laying just down in the forest. But of course, that's the cycle of nature. So, and I am glad that they're leaving them to provide habitat and nutrition to the soil around here. I am running into one small issue doing this trail, and that is that they have marked the trails, they have blazed the trails with purple paint. Now you might remember from when we did the horseshoe trail, I was explaining how purple paint is a mark that this is private property and not to access it. So I think somebody didn't get the memo and wasn't being thoughtful on what paint colors they chose to use. So I get a little anxious that I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be when I see the blazes, but so far so good. We'll keep on going. Boot update. I went to REI yesterday to pick up my new boots, which I was very excited about. And I tried them on and they were wonderful. The insoles felt great. I felt very supportive. The color was wonderful. It's so nice to have something that's not gray. But they were just a little too tight. So I asked the specialist there if they had the same boot in a size 10 instead of a size 9.5. And he went in the back and he came back out with a size 10 in gray. Sigh. So I tried them on, and yeah, that half size made all the difference. They were absolutely perfect. They felt like a dream. I'm not paying $210 for a pair of boots in a color I can't stand when I know I can get them in a color that I like. So I returned the boots that I got, and I ordered the new size in the same teal blue color, and those will be in on Wednesday. So next weekend I should have the good boots to go hiking in. But if there's one lesson I can offer, there are a couple of things you're going to spend a lot of money on when you get into hiking, whether it's day hiking, backpacking, whatever. If you're going out on trails on a regular basis, there's a couple of things you're going to spend a lot of money on. One is a pack, and the other should darn well be your boots. Because if your boots don't fit and you don't enjoy wearing them, you're not going to hike. And if you force yourself to hike in boots that don't fit, you're going to mess up your feet. So go ahead, spend the money. If there's one thing my $20 REI membership has more than made up for, is the number of times that I have bought a pair of boots there, worn them for 2 or 3 months, and then returned them without question. Yes, they are limited in their selection sometimes, but if you do your research online before you go into the store or go onto their website, you'll be able to find a lot of the things, a lot of the kinds of boots that you need to be hiking safely and well. So I also went to the garage sale and scored this new fanny pack. It's a terrible angle. Well, I'll get a better picture later. But it's much nicer for my camera equipment than the old gray one that I'd been using. That one was just a little too tight, hard to get in and out of. That's why I lost my sunglasses last week, was I couldn't fit them in my fanny pack. So I put them in my pocket instead. And this one was great, and it was $25 instead of $60. And so once again, good investment. I also ordered a new day pack, but we'll talk about that later. All right, we are on the last leg of this hike, so let's keep moving. And that's me back to the car. That was a nice hike for the day. I'm very pleased with that. As usual, all trails can't maintain a GPS signal to save its life. So there's a couple of spots on my map where I teleported. But it says I did 3.4 miles today, and with those couple of teleport sections, I probably did closer to 3.75 or even 4. So very good day. The problem with this trail on all trails, if you're considering coming out to do this, is that the person who mapped it out, and remember, all the all trails routes are all crowdsourced, so they're not official trails necessarily. They're something that somebody went out and hiked and is recommending to other people to do. And the person who laid this out had no compunction about walking through people's yards. So there are a couple of sections where you literally are expected to walk through people's backyards. I am not comfortable doing that, so I did that little section of road walking to connect back up. If you wanted to make it a little bit longer, there was also I think it's called the Horseview Trail that came off of the Armintrout once you got on off Mason Road. So there's an added loop there that'll probably add 3/4 of a mile to your trip if you wanted to do that. I was pretty much done for the day, so I cut that off. But if you come out and you do the green loop in Armintrout and then follow the purple and red loops in Camp Hill, you'll get a wonderful hike, and I highly recommend coming out if you're looking for something that's not terribly challenging. The red loop did get pretty muddy, so I was glad to have my waterproof boots, and there was a little bit of elevation gain here and there, nothing really challenging unless you're out of shape like I am. So here's the new bag I got. You can see it's much bigger than my old gray one. Here's my gray one for comparison, just teeny tiny. And I really like it because it has a big main pocket, it has a little front pocket, and it also has a pocket in the back where I can stick my keys in my wallet, so I have extra space. And it's got a padded back, so it's a lot more comfortable to wear. So this is just an REI brand day fanny pack. So check it out if you're looking for something. Yeah, the color's terrible, but I can put patches on it and make it more interesting. So that's it for this week. Thanks for coming along. We are definitely going out somewhere next weekend, which is going to be a challenge because on Sunday, Deb's dragging us up to New York City for our Christmas present. I don't know, maybe I'll record that. We'll see what happens. But I am going to go out on Saturday to test out those new boots because they're supposed to come in on Wednesday, and we'll see how they work. Have a great week, everybody. I hope you get out and do something exciting this week, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.